Okay, it's good quality.
Posting this here. Welcome in, guys. How's everybody doing? Welcome.
Morning,
Happy
guys.
Friday.
Happy Friday.
Welcome in. Welcome.
Brett, your camera's fuzzy again.
Uh, huh. I feel like it's might be Streamlabs. It's so weird.
I don't think so. It's just losing focus. Maybe come a little closer. I'd like try refocusing.
It's like going crazy right now.
It's all right.
Let me see.
Yeah, it's not that bad. It's not that bad. I think it's getting better.
It was
Sometimes
good
the
at first.
bit rate will reduce quality. Someone said that. Okay. Anyway, good morning, guys. Happy Friday. Do we even want a trade today? Yes? No? Maybe? uh, but we'll see if we can catch something. There's some good looking charts. And let's see if we can catch something.
We will. We'll catch something. Welcome in, guys. How's everybody doing?
Hit smash the like button, guys. Like, you guys have to smash it. Like, literally, like, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. I'm close to 7,000 followers. So let's see if we can get there. I need 50 more subs to get to 7,000. If we can get 7,000, that'll be awesome. Thank you so much. Want to get started, Brett?
Yeah, let's get started. Uh, Guys, just bear with us as we go. Look, I think it's fixed. I think we're good. I
Oh,
think
yeah,
you're
we're
right.
good
If
now.
I get closer to it, I think it's okay. For some reason, it's just I think we'll figure it out, guys. Not a big deal. But today's session, we're not here for production quality. We're here for trading stuff, right? So that's all that matters. As long as you can hear me, I'm gonna get so close to the camera right now, so like it's a little bit awkward, but just bear with it, right? The production quality doesn't matter. What matters is the quality of our sound and the quality of our screen share and also the content we're sharing. So what I want to do is I want to dive into our economic data quickly, and then I'm going to let Rav start off with charts. We're going to go over, of course, everything that's going on. We're going to talk a lot about the all-time high push that's happening here. So Rav and I were just talking about this. I think we also spoke about this last week too, but we've been talking about this push to all-time highs since for 2 weeks now, right? And we're finally getting it, the all-time high push. Remember, even yesterday's session, we were talking about the magnet to all-time high plus, and this is what you're seeing, right? You're seeing the actual continuation push over all-time highs now, and the question becomes like what's now in stock, right? So Rav and I are going to talk about that, what's going on in the market, what to expect moving forward, and it's going to be a good session. So besides that, today's session we do have some economic data. This morning we have some landmines to watch out for. The first landmine is at 8:30 a.m. Fortunately, we've already passed this, right? The market's already we've already reacted to this data. It was PCE, and PCE is really big. Personal income, personal outlays, PCE, core PCE, a whole bunch of data reports. We'll talk about it. But again, that's already been released. Besides that, we also have next week, starting with Monday session, we have PMI, right? We have PMI, Chicago Business Barometer, PMI Monday session. And then Tuesday, we have more routine data. But Thursday, we have the biggest data release of the week. It is all of the employment data stuff, right? So everything on employment rate, this is going to be big, and this is what the Fed's looking for. And you actually saw some comments from the Fed this morning. Two big things from the Fed, and one was about rate cuts, and the general consensus is that they're waiting for more employment data, but they are expecting 2 rate cuts for the year of 2025. So again, Thursday session is going to be really big for the market. Friday session, nothing scheduled, right? We do have a July 4th holiday, but it's going to be a good week next week, and we're excited to trade it. Anyway, In terms of economic data for today's session, we did talk about the data. I don't really have the numbers in front of me. I'm going to try to see if I can get it for us, but to be honest with you, it doesn't really matter, right? It does not matter. The market's already reacted to it. So I think we could just move on and go into charts today because that's what today should be focused on, just starting with all of our charts. So Rav, I'll let you take the lead. Do you want to run through SPY's chart?
Sure, I'll go through SPY. I mean, nothing much, guys. We're pretty much just ripping. So last week we caught the first bottom, then we got the second bottom, and then yesterday we got the third bottom. We had one consolidation day, and then we're just ripping. It's the simplest chart I can show you. I mean, everyone keeps you know being bearish, but this is a classic trend, right? There's nothing doing here. We consolidated in this channel when we had that Iran thing, and nothing crazy happened there as expected. Market just ripped. Okay, so today I don't know. Today we gotta have to wait to see. So basically we gotta wait for a pullback. So if you guys follow the trend of the market, right? We have one trend day, maybe one pause day, and then another resume day, one trend day. So technically today should be a pause day, but today is a Friday with OPEX, and because the market's gapped up, we could also squeeze. Okay, so there's big squeeze risk today. The only level I want to see hold is yesterday's low, right? So the 608 has to hold no matter what, and I'm just going to plot that for you guys. So this is that level here, okay? 608, 609. Now yesterday, the last pullback that we got, I'm going to switch to the hourly chart here. So you guys can see this here, okay? So yesterday we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hourly candles straight up. So at the very least, you want to see the third hourly candle hold here. So this level here would be the key indicator for me today. So 611, 610, 610.50, 611 will be the pivot for the day for me. And this needs to hold so that we can keep pressure on bears. And any kind of momentum or strength off of these levels, I will go long off of. So this is the little green zone here. Now I don't know if market's going to pull back that much or not because it is $4 away or $3.50 away. But if we do get that pullback, I will be looking for longs in this area. Now, if that doesn't happen and we keep ripping higher, right? The first sign of big pullback, we'll just have to long and have tight stops. And for any kind of short trade, honestly, I want to see it under the 610. If it can get under 610, we can switch bias and go short because everything that happened here will turn into a sell side move and we may just drop down to 605. Okay, so that's something to keep an eye on. As of right now, I don't know if I'll be trading SPY today because yesterday we had a big move. So I don't know if we'll get a big move today, but I could be convinced. Anything to add, Brett?
Yeah, no, I'm gonna add a few different levels to that. So first things first, guys, I'm going to yell at you to like the video because this is Rav's stream, and it's not my stream. So I can yell at you guys and be more aggressive. Give him some likes on his video because it helps his algorithm. He has 7K subs, which is diabolical for the traders that we are. There are traders who are absolute idiots who have 100K subs, and this is diabolical. Anyway,
Dude, I believe they're all fake subs, dude. There's no way, dude.
I don't know. I think people actually follow them though. I think people literally do follow them. It's
They all
crazy.
probably bought
Anyway,
their streams and everything for real.
it's probably true. It probably is true. Anyway, on the SPY chart. So SPY chart, you have to understand a few different things today, right? Yesterday's session, Rav and I went long. If you go to the 5-minute chart, you're in the 1 hour there, but if you jump to the 5-minute chart, we went long off that 62850, right? So yesterday's session, what did we say yesterday? We were talking about the gap up in the market, and the previous session high was that 62850, right? So pre-market, we spoke about 62850 being a long spot. Market pushed right into that level, and we just defended it all morning. That was the easiest long opportunity yesterday, was just defining risk under 62850, under the previous session high, and just longing that with a tight stop loss below. And that was the idea yesterday that worked out really well. We ended up trending all day yesterday, and we made a move from 62850, previous session high, to 612, right? And 612 is where we closed at yesterday. The general thing that's been happening a lot recently is SPY's just been respecting previous session high, previous session low, right? We've been pulling to these levels, respecting them, and then markets moved higher off these levels. The previous session high for today is 612. So yesterday's session 612 was previous session high, right? So that's a better way to phrase it. That's our demand today, right? But we do have the previous all-time high at 613.2. So 613.2, and this is the most important level you have to have in your chart too, is like this is like the level, right? It's 613.20, right? That is the previous yearly high, right? From 2020 X, whatever the year was, it was 2025, right? But it was 2025. Yeah, February 20. It was February 2025, right? That exact time. For some reason, I thought it was 2024, but it's 2025. That's a previous yearly high, right? So again, and all-time highs. That's the level to watch out for today. If you fail 613.2, we go to 612. If you fail 612, we go to 610.80, 610, right? And all these demands below are just different spots we can look for longs off of. Now, I'm not saying we go through and just willy-nilly long every level. We have to see if there's actually reactions at these levels, then define entries and look for longs. But as of right now, it's 613.2, 612, and 610.8. Those are the three long spots I'm watching this morning. And then also you have 60850. Rav says 610 fails, we go lower. I agree. 610 fails, we go lower. 60850 is the next big level. If we lose 60850, then I think all hell breaks loose, right? And that's where we're probably we're probably wrong on both case scenarios, and we fell back lower. Yeah, I'm in agreement. But that's what I have here on my SPY chart.
Yeah, again, so it's just a matter of so these kinds of moves, right, at all-time highs. If you guys have never traded all-time highs, they just got to rinse and repeat. So for market to go higher, one side has to lose, shorts have to lose. So what they'll do is they'll make people who went long chasing, they'll make them lose. Then when they go lower, everyone's thinking market's going to crash, they'll short more, and then they'll rip it higher and push it higher. So this is how they'll kind of get those moves. And so this is why people also lose. So we got to be careful not developing huge biases and whatnot. So if today if the market sells, we can be short-term bearish, and then as long as the bigger term levels holds, we can again trade next week and go trade whatever the market gives us. You got to be a little nimble. If you think the entire market crash, you'll miss out on all the long moves, just like how what happened like last 2 weeks, right? SPY was at 590 or something like that. Everyone saying market crash, market crash. You missed out on what, like from 590 to almost 615 now, right? So you got to be a little bit more nimble. But as long as we just follow levels, we'll be fine.
Yeah. Do you want to do ES chart? Want to go over ES a little bit?
Sure, I guess. I just want to go over meta.
ES chart.
Please.
Do you want to start? I'll let you start. I'll let you run your levels here if you have any levels.
I don't have any levels on ES, but I can go to the 1 hour. Not anymore. We are at all-time highs. I had levels, but not since from 2 days ago. From Wednesday, I don't have any levels. But I
So
can just
for
quickly plot. Yeah.
yeah, for me on the ES chart this morning, the levels that I have are 6,200 ES is your big level today, right? So that same previous yearly high, right? It's not really, it doesn't really correlate to ES's chart, because if you look at ES's chart, the same SPY high would be technically 6,200 ES. That being said, ES's previous all-time highs is technically 6280, right? So 6290 really is the previous all-time highs here. So there is still a discrepancy on ES and SPY, where SPY is printing an all-time high and ES is not. I would say that today's session, though, just understand that we do have demand below here at 6,200 ES. 6,200 ES is your big technical demand below. Above us, the big supply is 6290, right? So market on the ES chart looks like it's headed for the previous all-time highs. Besides that, though, I mean, if you're trading ES today, I think you should be doing this. Look for longs off 62. That's your first long spot. If we lose 62, we're probably going back into 6180, which is the breakout level from yesterday's session. So watch 6200 ES for longs. Also watch 6180 ES for longs. If you lose 6180 ES, that's kind of the equivalent of SPY losing 510, where we probably move back lower into that session low. So those are the levels in ES's chart. Pretty simple, guys. Just understand this, though. We are not at all-time highs yet, ES, and I think that's really important, right? SPY is above all-time highs. ES is not. So interesting to see that. And that means that we have some long targets now, right? So if you are looking for SPY, you're like, where's the long targets on SPY? Open the ES chart, right? Because ES chart is going to tell you where those SPY longs are. That makes sense. So SPY target longs. Anything to add there on ES?
No, pretty much the same chart as SPY. I was just looking at it. Very strong. I mean, like if this is a chart that screams shots, shots are getting toast right now. Every dip is getting what? We really can't even like short of the first failure, because there's so much demand down here. and you'll probably just be shorting into demand. So we got to be a little careful today. I was just thinking about it. Um, I was just actually low-key thinking about maybe you can just take some failures, but this looks pretty dangerous. So yeah, but I agree with the levels. I think this looks good, and all these levels are here are demand. And yeah, let's see what the session brings us.
Someone said Brett's spending too much time on ES. Let's get right to meta. Want to do meta? We could jump right into meta.
All right, sir, we can do that. No, I'm kidding. I'm looking forward to this trade today. So again, Meta, you guys can see this is again another one of those names. We had initial consolidation. This is what I was talking about. And then they did a failure here. If you guys remember, the 700 Meta, I was trying to trade this here. The first breakout, I kept trying to trade this, and they didn't break. They kept rejecting 705. Now everyone thought that this is it. Meta is done. It's going to sell like crazy. It's short. I don't know why this. I thought it was going. What do? They lured everyone in short here, and then for one day, right? I think this was last Friday, right? For one day, they consolidated and then ripped it above. Okay, so now everyone's who's short here, they're going to add fuel to this particular chart and make it move higher. What happened? We again hesitated for a bit this Tuesday around 705. We false broke again and then we dropped, but then we held 700 this time. That was the sign that this was going to be a swing low. And then this move happened, and then this failure happened off of 715 again yesterday, and then we held, and then yesterday's session, big session, rip. So we're just testing levels and up and down, up and down. So now that this pressure is built, these are all low volume node areas. You guys can see the clouds expanding, right? So we don't really have to complicate this. First test of demand, this area here, either 726, 724, or 722, right? So right now, Meta's trading at 731. First sign of pullback to these areas, you can probably long, and just make sure that you guys will know. I'll signal it, okay? Don't worry. You have to wait for the level to actually hold. Don't go trying to scale in. Don't do all of that. You will absolutely get your cheeks clapped if you do that. Okay, on Meta, do not do that. You gotta wait for levels to hold, and you'll know if you look at the tape on that. And when that happens, you can go long on them. It's just about finding the right level to long at. So these like three options: 726, 724, or 722. Okay. Now, honestly, if they don't hold the pressure, right, they got to hold these levels for any kind of upside. If they don't, Meta is one of those names that can easily just flip back down here to 715 or something like that. Okay, so you got to be careful. They have to hold this here, this level. And just jumping to the 4-hour chart, this 4-hour candle needs to hold. Okay, 722, 724, 726. Okay, three levels here. All right, that's all I have for Meta. Nothing else. It's just a trend-based trade. We have to wait for one of these levels to hold and then long it. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense. We forgot Qs. They're gonna absolutely annihilate us if we don't do Qs. Let's do Q quickly. I'll talk about the levels. So QQQ levels are very simple today, right? And bear with me as we go through this, but this is the level. The level that we have to watch today, again, similar to SPY 512. So you have SPY 512, right, which is the previous session high. On the Qs, what we're watching is that 546.50 level. 546.50 is your big critical level today. You want to see 546.50 maintain. That's your big demand, the previous session high. Look for longs off 546.50. Also look for longs off 544. Those are the two big levels today. If we lose 544, then I don't really have a bullish sentiment today. I think we probably fail back lower to 541. So 544 big demand, 546.50 big demand. Those are the things to watch out for today's session. Yep, that's pretty much it. That's really all I have here in Qs. You want to add anything there?
Nope, I agree. Pretty much same chart as SPY, and we just gotta wait for a pullback to one of the levels.
Yeah.
Want to do NVIDIA?
Sure. Yeah, let's do NVIDIA. So NVIDIA, absolutely insane chart, right? I mean, yesterday's session, it didn't really present many long opportunities because it pulled back, right? So yesterday in pre-market, we discussed the idea of going long off that NVIDIA 153 level today or yesterday, and it did not pull back there, right? Pull back to around 154. This is part of the reason why I went long on SPY, was just because I just realized that NVIDIA was not going to pull back to my 153 level. That being said, the 153 pullback long is still valid today, right? So if you're looking for longs at NVIDIA, my main watch on NVIDIA is going to be 153. So if we can pull back to 153 today, I'll look for longs there. If we lose 153, then we're going back to 150. And 150, again, is your next big demand. So the levels are as follows: 153 big demand, 150 big demand, and 157 major supply, right? And 157, as you guys know, is that previous all-time highs. So previous all-time highs, 157. We need to see that clear for more upside.
We are going to clear it. I don't think they came all this way to just like fail here. They're going to clear
Yeah.
it. I think you're going to test 160 plus.
Yeah. So if you're looking for longs today, you could also look for longs over 157, right? So look for longs over 157, look for longs at 153. As long as these levels are holding, then it's good. Now NVIDIA eventually will have one of those failure days. But for now, just continue to look for longs as demand and until it doesn't work, because eventually there's going to be a day where NVIDIA, you long NVIDIA demand and it's not, doesn't work, right? And you lose on it. But the 6 times you've done it prior to that, it's worked, right? So you're gonna be okay, right? So for me now on NVIDIA, still watching for longs, 153 pullback long or 157 break retest long entry. AMD, want to do AMD?
Guys, before that, guys, hit this like there are more than 1,000 of you here. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Let's get the stream popping. Help me out here. All right, Brett, I'll let you go over AMD.
AMD. It's so great. I'm looking at my my camera is like goes in and out. Like right now it's so good. And then like all of a sudden when I start talking about like NVIDIA, it just like it went crazy. Anyway, AMD's chart. On the AMD chart, AMD is almost a picture perfect replica of NVIDIA, right? Yes, it's overheated. Yes, it's still hot, right? But it doesn't mean it can't just keep going higher. It may still just keep going higher. Now, I like NVIDIA a bit better, to be honest, for higher. AMD is just hasn't really been on my main watch every morning. That being said, if you are watching AMD, you're looking for longs back at demand, similar to NVIDIA, right? So what you should be watching for on AMD is the demand below. The major demand below, and to be honest, like I don't even the pre-market this morning on AMD. I just don't like it as much as I do NVIDIA. If you are watching it though, I mean, it's interesting to see that Thursday session, AMD was very weak, right? So while NVIDIA was bouncing back, AMD was relatively weak. And looking at this chart now, this is the thing, right? Sometimes we kind of like we pick up on these things live, and this is something I'm picking up on live right now. I am not really digging this chart right now as much as I do NVIDIA, right? Why did AMD close red yesterday while NVIDIA closed green, right? That to me is kind of is a big discrepancy. I would say at this point, expect AMD to pull back and give you one of those pullback days. That being said, it doesn't mean you can't long it. Watch 138 for pullback longs. It's your big demand zone. 138 to 140, right? So 140 is your big level, then 138 is your second big level. I would watch both of those, right? Watch 140 first and watch 138 secondary. I think this will pull back, though. I think it's very logical to expect AMD to pull back. I don't really like continuation trades on AMD as much as I do NVIDIA. Yeah, that's it. That's all I have here on this chart.
All right, let's go AVGO. I think I was watching the 270 level. Yep, 270 cleared yesterday. This will be a big level for me. So this needs to hold. So any kind of like sell and then reclaim of this level, I like for longs. And if it doesn't reclaim, then there is no trade. So this 270 level was the previous wick area. We cleared it yesterday, closed above this, and then gapped up. So today we look like they may flush it here. So if they flush and then do a reclaim, I like it for longs. Otherwise, there is no trade for me. I don't really trust buying dips on a name like AVGO. So the next big demand over here is 262, 264. You can see it here. But again, if that happens, there is a trend loss. Okay, so 264 here, and this was the breakout from that trend area. Okay, so 264, 267. Those are the other levels on AVGO. But the only idea I want to see is to put pressure on bulls, hold 270, or maybe flush and reclaim, go for longs again. All right. So this is all I have on AVGO. The next name is MU. MU again, like they had an opportunity yesterday to put pressure on bulls if they could reclaim this 130. That's why I had this, because you guys can clearly see this, right? They had a false break here, another inviting shot, and then another red candle. Okay, so somehow if this can get above 130, there is a trade here, but right now it's just bear flagging and looks like it's going to test one of these green boxes here. Okay, there is no trade long side, but if you want to go short, you can use this 127 or 127.50 as resistance, and then once you get confirmation, you can go short on this. Okay, but for longs we need about 130. All right, or at the very least 128.50, which is yesterday's pre-market low. All right, anything to add, Brett?
On Avgo chart, that previous all-time high is that 265 level. I really like 265. I know you were saying that that's a trend loss level, right? So
264, yep. No, I mean there
That's
could be a
the
liquidity grab here. So if they do this here and this holds, like again, they could reclaim and do that. But the tradable areas here are 270 or over here. In the middle, you might get just caught 267. There's another level.
right.
Um, Honestly, just be careful. That's what I would say because you may think that's a level, and just because there's a level, you might think it'll hold, but it'll not. Because if you see too many people chasing highs, it could really, just sell a lot. Okay, be careful with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
But previous all time highs 265. That's what I have in the Avgo's chart. Do you want to do SMH quickly? Let's go to the SMH chart very briefly. A lot of them look at the SMH as well.
okay.
SMH chart yesterday's session, it pulled back that 275 level we discussed. This is the thing is like you are seeing a lot of these gap fills come in first, right? So you saw that the gap fill back to a previous session high, 275. Today's session, the level is very simply 275 in SMH, right? We spoke a lot about 270 and 275. Today's session, watch 275 as technical demand in SMH. As long as SMH is holding 275, it's holding demand. That's all we have here on this chart. So use that as your gauge today, right? If you want to go long AMD, Nvidia, or Avgo or MU, right? Watch SMH. If SMH is failing 275, be careful going long semis, right? So use that as your basis moving forward. Anyway, I'll let you. We going Tesla? What
We
was the
could
next
go,
chart you're watching?
we could go Tesla. Yeah, Tesla, Apple, and yeah, it's a nothing chart, guys. It's just one of those. They had this one big move on the news, but then like I was actually surprised when it happened. I was watching long, but this move the next day did not have any juice whatsoever. And do you remember? Remember, Brett? I told you I tried shorting it and I gave back 600. If I just held those short, that would have been like a crazy trade because the 325 puts that I had, they went in the money. So we went to like 321, and now we're just bear flagging here. You guys can see clouds have flipped. So for any kind of long idea, you want to see at least this 338, 339 reclaim. And I don't know if that will happen today. It's a $13 away. Okay, so for short side trades, you can use this 324 as a starter. This is kind of like yesterday's pivotal area. And then if it can get under that, you are going to see this green box again. Okay, so Tesla is a bearish looking chart for me. And for any kind of longs, I needed about 339, 340 because every long out here that chased Tesla when this big move happened is now exit liquidity. So I don't wanna get in Tesla longs until it can flip this candle here. Okay, and for short side, 324 is my pivot 2 days ago. It's still closing above, but if we can get a convincing close under 324, this is going to drop a little lower. All right, Brett,
Yeah.
anything to add?
Something is wrong with Tesla. Something's broken with Tesla right now. I don't know what it is, but sometimes stocks break for a little bit, and right now Tesla's just absolutely broken. It's not moving with the market. It's consolidating, right? It was almost like we saw a big player, like a big insider or something selling, because it just the way it was moving on Wednesday, the way it was moving on Thursday, now even pre-market, it's not participating in upside. There's going to be a moment where Tesla wakes up. It's like basically a sleeping bear in hibernation, right? You don't want to mess with the sleeping bear in hibernation because we don't know which way the bear is going to go. Is it going to go up or is it going to go down? Truthfully, right now the bias is more bear sided, right? That's the way it looks, right? Under 332 is more bear sided. We spoke about the 332 rejection play yesterday on this chart, but I don't think we can really touch this yet until it makes the move. Let it make the move first, then we can catch it on momentum. I think that's the right way to do it. It's been sleeping for a while now. The rejection play yesterday, if you rejected it off of the 332 level, was good. That was your trade yesterday session. Today, I will leave it alone. Right? Let's see what happens. Can it clear 336? If it clears 336, this goes to 350 plus. Right? If we lose 320, this is going back to the daily 200 SMA 312 and possibly even 300. This is a sleeping giant, a sleeping bear, whatever you want to call it. Right? Let it break the highs or lows and look for continuation trades in whichever direction. Right? Above 336 or below 320. That's my plan here in Tesla. In between that range, I would argue we should probably stay away. Now, granted, if you want to trade it, if you see something tick and begin to move in a direction and you want to trade it momentum, you can do it, right? But I think those are the big levels that you're watching today's session. Yeah.
Yeah, another thing with Tesla is just be careful. These kinds of moves can be quick and fast, and just have tight stops if you're trading, even on a Friday. And another thing is this is going to be like the last Friday of quarter two, so Soon enough, maybe not today, we're going to get like change in positioning. We're going to get some volume coming in, end of quarter volume coming in, balancing happening. So we're going to get some explosive moves towards the end of the month. We've had a great week. We've had a lot of good plays, big plays. So now it's time to be defensive. So don't go having crazy conviction on anything today, because you can lose a lot of profits. Okay, that's kind of my mindset. So I want to just let you guys know also the same thing. And are you done with Tesla, Brett?
I am done with Tesla. I'm done with Tesla. Yeah, yeah,
Let's
I'm
go
done
to
with Tesla.
Apple.
They want to do speed round. Want to do speed round? You know what speed round is?
No.
That means we start going. We go crack. I mean, I already go crack at speed, but we are about to go crazy. We go into like hypersonic mode.
All right.
Apple.
202,
Do
202,
do
and
Apple.
then yeah, 202, 199 for me. 199 loses. That was kind of yesterday's low of day. If you guys saw my watch list, under 199, I like it for bears, and about 202, there could be a trade until 205, but right now it's kind of just chopping. Even at market at all-time highs, Apple's not participating. It's just kind of barely holding. For this to really get any kind of momentum, we need to clear this big red box here, 215. Okay, so this is kind of the Apple chart zooming out. We are just up, down, up, down, up, down, and you guys can clearly see this, right? This 194, 199 is the first one, and if we lose this, we got a big drop coming here. Okay, so Apple better hold that whatever compression's happening. You guys can see the ranges are getting smaller and smaller, so a big break is coming soon. We just don't know which direction, and based on general direction, it looks like to the downside, but we'll see.
I agree. No, I actually fully agree with that. So, remember we were talking about this the other day. Is like Apple has been broken. Apple is broken too. Like Apple, something is wrong with Apple as well. Kind of similar to Tesla. It's been systematically weak despite market upside. I think it's a very important theme this morning. This has been a systematically weak stock that has not pushed highs while the market's pushing higher. For me, this has to clear 204. If it can clear 204, that's where I can get some least short-term upside back into 207.50 and 210. But as of right now, Apple's weak. Look for puts under 200, under 200 for puts back into 195, or above 204 for longs back into 210. PLTR, PLTR,
How could we miss that?
can't miss PLTR. They'll go crazy. On the PLTR chart, levels are very simple in PLTR. 140 is your big demand below. 147 is your previous all-time highs and your new big level. So 147 big supply, 140 big demand. For me this morning, I would be focused on looking for longs off 140. If I could see us flick off 140, look for longs there. Or I would continue to do what has worked over and over and over and over again, is look for longs on breakouts on PLTR, right? If it breaks 147, simple as that. We're not reinventing the wheel here, right? So every breakout that happens here in PLTR just keeps going, right? So look for breakout above 147, look for longs at 140. If it fails 140, then we go lower. I think if we fail 140, I don't really have any big level on PLTR until 125. So under 140, that's where the big short case move happens, and I think we move back to 125. Yeah. Guys, we already Tevin, we already went over Qs. We can do Amazon. I know Rav loves Amazon, so we can go over Amazon.
You're going Amazon. I'm not going to go Amazon.
Yeah, I knew you're not going to do it. I knew you're not going to do it. 220 and Amazon actually could be a big macro break today. This could be something we actually watch today on other beta names. Remember we said Amazon's been a scamazon stock. It's been just not doing anything we want to do, and it's been nothing to watch. Well, Amazon actually is waking up this morning, right? Look for 220 long break. If that happens, we can look for longs at 220. So very macro break here, 220 on Amazon. If we clear 220 today, we could see the move back into the channel high here, 228. So watching that to happen is the break and hold above that Amazon 220 level. If it breaks, channel high break, and we move back into 228. Yeah.
This doesn't look bad, honestly. 218. Okay, this doesn't look bad. Okay, maybe there's a trade here. Maybe I'll trade Amazon for the first time.
It actually is a good looking chart, right? 217
Yeah.
big demand below and 220 big supply above.
Yeah. And Netflix chart quickly. Again, guys, you guys remember the first time we tested? This is the liquidity move. Everyone, thought, oh, that's a nice Netflix crash. They just trick shots and popped reclaim. Got about the red box here and then new all-time high. Okay, so this is a classic dip and reclaim and liquidity manufacturing move. This is super strong, honestly. Maybe a dip under 1300 and if it tests to what 1290 or something like that, you could probably go long on this. But I'm not going to trade Netflix today, considering it's the last Friday of the month and liquidity will be in question. You can see volumes kind of contracting, so all of this is just breakout moves, shots getting squeezed. So you got to be a little careful, and I don't think I'll trade this today. But the level I'll be watching for is 1290. 1290 is trend. trend holding move, and you want to just make sure that it holds. Anything
Yeah.
else?
No, I think I think we just hit time, so we can call it here. I mean,
Okay.
I think what Rab was saying was really important. It's June 27. It's the last Friday of the month. We've had a killer week, and if you guys have been trading with us, we had a killer week this week. I think almost every single day we've had either direction right or just all green trades, and I think that's the right thing to do is just come out green every day, and we've done that this week. So I think today's session cash flow. If you try to go in today and you think you're gonna, go crazy and you're gonna quadruple your account, that's the fast track to blowing it. Don't do it. Take it easy today. I think that's the general mindset.
Yeah, yeah. Trade safe today. Don't fuck around and find out. Market struggling will be struggling for volume. And honestly, if you think weakness, market crash, you might lose. If you think market crazy rally, you might also get cooked. So be careful. Cash flow and then be done. And even if you get in an idea, there's nothing wrong in trading. Just be sure to cut losses quickly if you're wrong. Don't keep holding on zero DTEs when you're down minus 70% and keep averaging down. And yeah, we'll see you guys on live. Otherwise, it should be a good day.
Yep. See you guys in live.
See
Bye,
ya.
guys.
Like and subscribe, guys. Bye.